So, cassoulet, you know, typically it takes like 3 days to make. We're gonna make it in 30 minutes. Hey everybody, I'm Dawn Perry. I'm coming to you from my kitchen in California, and today we're gonna make Weeknight cassoulet from my new book, Ready, Set, Cook. So it's a riff, of course, but there are beans, there is pork in the form of sausage, and a crunchy breadcrumb topping. So those were the essentials for me. To start, we're just gonna brown off these sausages. This is a 10 or 12-inch skillet. It's a good move. I like cast iron because it gets hot and it stays hot. It does go in the oven, so make sure it's oven safe, so no like plastic parts. This feels pretty hot, so sausages going in. We're just gonna go with these 3 mild Italian sausages, but really any sort of like pork product you have around will work. We're gonna brown them up really nicely and then slice them and put them back in. I've got it on medium-high now. Just keep an eye on it. I might turn it down to medium. So while those brown, let's chop the rest of our stuff. So a yellow onion, but like if you have a red onion around, that's fine. So let's do our celery. I think, you know, I had sort of 2 ribs left, so I'm gonna throw them both in. If you had like a fennel bulb, half a fennel bulb, you could throw that in. I've got a couple cloves of garlic. This is like the inside of the head, so I'm having a little bit of trouble separating them. And this is gonna go in with the onions and the celery, so you don't have to fuss over it too much. Whoa, things are happening. I'm gonna go down to medium over here. That's looking pretty good. Give these all a turn. Okay, so we've got some inactive time to utilize, so we might as well get together our breadcrumb toppings. I happen to have panko, which I think is what I call for in the recipe, but if you had like fine breadcrumbs, Italian style, that is fine. If you wanted to use crushed crackers, that would be delicious and add another layer of flavor. Again, anything crunchy that you could crush into crumbs is gonna be great. So it's a cup. You saw I wasn't like super exact in that department. That's okay. We'll add a little olive oil, a little parsley, season it with salt and pepper, and that's kind of it. This looks perfect. I'd need about a half a cup and just toss it right into the breadcrumbs. And we'll add a couple tablespoons of olive oil. I'm too lazy to get out the measuring spoon, so I'm just gonna go 1, 2. That feels about right. A little pinch of salt. And some pepper. Stir, stir, stir. Actually, I'm just gonna use the old French whisk and work the parsley into the breadcrumbs. They should all be kind of like evenly moistened with the olive oil. If it feels a little dry, you could add more. But this is gonna get scattered on top, and then it'll go under the broiler for a couple of minutes to get crunchy and golden brown. Now I'm gonna check, like when I press on it with my finger, they're starting to feel pretty firm, which is good. But they likely aren't cooked all the way through. These are coming out. And so you can see, you know, we started with a little olive oil, but we also have this like delicious sausage flavored drippings in the skillet also. And we're just gonna use that to cook the rest of our vegetables. So let's use one of my favorite tools, the bench scraper. You could definitely just use your hands, but you can clean up your board at the same time. And then we'll season that with a little salt and pepper and give it a stir. I had turned down the heat to medium when those sausages were in because it was like really spitting at me. I'm just gonna let these cook for a bit until they start to get soft. Okay, vegetables are looking pretty close, so let's go ahead and slice up the sausages. Yeah, so just into rings, and I think we'll see they're likely not cooked through. That's okay. Bite-size-ish thickness, but that's up to you. So you can see, not quite cooked through, but firm enough to slice. And then let's get going on the beans part. So I'll just give this a stir. You can see they've got some color on the vegetables, and let's add the beans. Usually use a white bean like navy, cannellini, Great Northern, but you could make it with chickpeas, you could make it with kidney beans, kind of whatever you got around. And I'm actually gonna use the bean liquid. I find it's like nicely seasoned bean flavored liquid, so why am I gonna not use it? So all of it goes in. I'm gonna add a cup of water just to keep it from getting too thick. But if you happen to have like chicken stock or vegetable stock around, that's gonna add even more flavor. But I will add a little more salt and pepper now because I don't think we've ever set off the smoke alarm in here. Hold on 1 second.
Alarm silenced. Detector active.
Back to it. So our beans are simmering and it's gonna come out pretty fast. I'm gonna add the sausage back. Honestly, every time I make this, I think, oh, maybe I should have used a bigger skillet, but we're gonna make it work. So I want the whole thing to be simmering. It's just kind of simmering around the edge right now. So we'll give it another minute. I'm gonna turn on the broiler. This is the hardest part of the recipe, not walking away once you put it under the broiler. It's gonna go on top. So some of the breadcrumbs, just like in a traditional cassoulet, kind of will soak up some of this brothy, sausagey bean goodness underneath, and some will stay crunchy on top. And I'll be right here for the next 1 to 2 minutes. Look at this. Golden brown. Another very important step is to just like give it a few minutes before you dig in, because it will burn the roof of your mouth off. So give it a few minutes to settle. It will also continue to thicken as it cools slightly. It's gonna be plenty hot under there, so don't worry about that. Digging in. Oh, wow. It smells great. Looks great. It tastes so good. I'm not just saying it because I made it. It's so simple. It tastes like I worked far harder than I did just now. And I hope you add this to the regular rotation, especially during the colder months. This is Weeknight Cassoulet.